On March 11, 2003, police in Brownsville, a small border town in South Texas, responded to a 911 call about something disturbing inside a cramped apartment on East Tyler Street. The scene inside would leave a mark on everyone who stepped through that door. As police entered the dark apartment, they were hit with a heavy, horrid smell, a mix of rotting food, filth, and chemicals. In the middle of the living room were several black trash bags. Inside those bags, they found the dismembered remains of 3 children: 3-year-old Julissa, 1-year-old John Esteban, and 2-month-old Mary Jane. Their bodies had been mutilated, their heads severed, and their remains stuffed into the bags. Nearby were the knives used in the killings, rags soaked in thinner, and empty containers of glue and paint. Police also found the children's pet hamsters. They had been doused in bleach and their heads crushed with a hammer. The parents, John Allen Rubio and Angela Camacho, remained in the apartment for hours after the killings. When police questioned Rubio, he calmly confessed, explaining the children were possessed and needed to be killed to prevent evil. Camacho, though initially hesitant, eventually participated in the killings, holding down the children as Rubio attacked them. An autopsy later determined that the children had first been suffocated, each one held down and smothered, before being stabbed and ultimately decapitated. The medical examiner reported signs of trauma before death, indicating that the children may have suffered. Rubio and Camacho's relationship began around 2001 when they met in an apartment complex where they were both living. At the time, Camacho had just fled an abusive relationship and was raising her young daughter Julissa. Rubio, who had a troubled background of his own, took an interest in her, and they quickly became close. According to trial records, their bond formed under difficult circumstances. Both were poor and emotionally unstable. They moved in together not long after meeting, and Rubio began treating Julissa as his own daughter. Over the next 2 years, Camacho gave birth to 2 more children, John Esteban and Mary Jane, though Rubio was not the biological father of any of the 3. Despite this, Rubio treated all 3 children as his own. Both Rubio and Camacho struggled with drug use throughout their relationship. Rubio abused inhalants, specifically spray paint and glue, which worsened his mental state and judgment. This addiction contributed to frequent instability in their lives, including periods of homelessness and moving between friends' homes. Child Protective Services even took custody of 2 of the children for a time after finding Rubio using spray paint around them. Although they managed to regain custody after Rubio got a job, the family's financial struggles and unstable living conditions continued. Camacho, while less is known about her own drug use, was heavily influenced by Rubio. The couple's poverty, substance abuse, and stress led to growing paranoia and delusions, including Rubio's belief that the children were possessed by evil spirits. According to Camacho, in the days leading up to the murders, the children had been sick and acting strangely, and Rubio described hearing voices, seeing hallucinations, and believing the children were possessed. In November 2003, Rubio was convicted on 4 capital murder counts and immediately sentenced to death by injection. In 2007, Texas Court of Criminal Appeals reversed the conviction on appeal, and a retrial was ordered. In 2010, Rubio again pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, but the jury rejected his defense and found him guilty once again. In May 2025, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals rejected Rubio's final appeal, effectively exhausting his legal options. He remains on death row. His execution date has not been announced. Camacho pleaded guilty separately and received 3 concurrent life sentences. She will be eligible for parole in 2043.